biopsy. We have this fine young man, 8 years old.
Yes.
Who said, what can we do to help you?
So he's been complaining about his feet. He says that his arches are hurting over here, right?
No, over here.
On that one too, but sometimes they're hurt. Both of them hurt, right? And then over here he's had this bump for over a month now, I think. He hasn't really complained about it being painful, but he does this thing where he does his feet like this.
Pigeon toe.
To I guess to relieve it, the pain, right? You get some pain over there, some discomfort, and his taekwondo instructor noticed that he would put his toes up and bend it, and I guess to stretch this area or something like that. But when he does his kicks or his drills, he doesn't complain. But I guess it's after the fact that he gets some pain or some discomfort on his feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
He also has some groin pains, or in his inner thigh up here, near his groin, where on his left side.
When I run.
And when he's running, he feels some
When
discomfort.
I feel active.
What about your back?
When I bend a lot, it bothers.
Yeah. Okay. And his pigeon toe too.
Well, we see in the video already in how he's walking. Mostly his left foot that's doing it. Not too much of the right. His right one has, yes, it is going a little bit in the inside, but not as severe as the left one. So let's take a look, see what's everything going all about. Yeah, just look straight. Just look straight. We're just looking for any signs of abnormal temperature. Think of it just like a thermometer. When your body's a little sick, gives off a little fever, right? So when something's a little bit damaged, that's what this device picks up. Just a little mild fever. And you have one right at this level. Let's check, see what's going on in that. Look straight. There you go, champ. It's all clear out there. Not too bad. So nice hug. Sit up straight. Okay. Oh, bless you. Okay. So here's a story with young children, right? So they're kind of petite still, and as a result, the edema, the swelling doesn't show up as well. But on him, based on long experience, we still see the swelling right here. So there's something pulling right at this region. How's this feel right here? Tender?
Sore.
Sore, right? How's this feel right here?
Fine.
It's fine. Okay, got it. Oh, that's a little zing in there, right? How's this feel right there?
Oh, ouch.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't need to poke that fella. Okay, so that second sacral segment that's in trouble right there. How's that feel right there?
Oh, that hurts
That's
more.
not too fun either. Okay, so that second sacral segment right now, that's in trouble. So. Alright, champ. So we could clearly see there's some kind of discoloration over here, and it's definitely much more higher. It doesn't look like it's a calcaneus at all. So let's test all this. Okay, talus is stuck. That's a no-brainer. Calcaneus is slightly stuck. Okay, you knocked your talus out there, champ. So let's go, I'll show you on the film over here. Okay, so here's the story of what happened in your son's case. Right? So this is his right foot. Now, I didn't bother taking one on the spine because I did a screening on him, and it looks like it's just going to be just that sacrum over there. Typically with pigeon toes, especially when it's bilateral, it's usually just the sacrum itself. Right? So we're just going to correct that one.
Okay.
And now it's just pretty much straightforward, so I'm not too concerned about that. And I also already ruled out, if it's just one side, even though it's major, no, it's just a severe rotation of that sacrum. So
okay.
That's just the one we need to correct on. We don't need to expose them to any unnecessary radiation body, while the body is still, with all these growth plates still growing in there.
Okay.
But his foot, no. Because that's been there for, you mentioned, about 4 weeks and it hasn't resolved and it's still there, you know, they definitely warranted an x-ray. And especially with active kids, there could always be a stress fracture or any other type of fractures. You know, it's always hard to tell, so it's better to be safe to, you know, just to be safe, to be sure. So we took one over here, and so far as I could tell, no, I don't see any fractures either. But I do see 2 components.
Okay.
And we'll go over the second component later on, while we do the full exam on his foot. It's this talus over here. Normal, it should line up with everything else, like this. But on him, it's slightly elevated this way. Right? And that's what we test confirm.
This part right here?
Yeah, it's this whole entire bone right here. That's what this bone is, on this foot right here. This bone went that way.
Okay.
Right? So I need to realign it back into here. So that also fits onto his description. He was like saying, oh, I gotta like plantar flex my foot, try to like snap it back in or something like that, because of the way it's like it went this way. So when he's trying to like stretch it out, he's trying to, in essence, because kids are intuitive, they're very interesting, you know, they know there's something going on, they try to fix it, they just need a little helping hand. So by doing that plantar flexion, he's trying to bring it back into a normal alignment, and he just can't. So he just needs a little helping hand doing that. So it's just that one. I'm gonna double check this calcaneus. It is slightly out, just slightly, but I bet you when we correct this one, I'm gonna double check this one. This one may follow along for the ride as well.
Okay.
So let's fix his ankle first, and let's see how that comes along. Okay. All right, so first things first, all right? So when I take a look at his feet, see what his toes are doing? Right? All of it's curling like this, right? What gives? Well, when we start to have hammer toes, that's what these are. Right? When we start to have the medial arch, the transverse arch, and the lateral arch, all 3 arches start collapsing. The toes have no choice but to bunch up. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. When we restore the transverse arch, take a look at his toes. See what it does?
Yeah.
Right? It start to straighten out. So yeah, hammer toes. So when we put the arch back in there, it starts flattening out.
Okay.
All right? So what's the story? Why is it doing this? There's 2 components. So we already identified during the test itself, this structure right here is compromised. So when that's compromised, the nerves, it needs to flow all straight down to the legs, the thighs, the knees, the foot, ankle, the whole entire 9 yards, all straight down here. However, if there's pressure on the nerve, the arches, all 3 arches, the ligaments, they don't have that neural function anymore. They cannot hold onto the bone as well as they should. So therefore, any type of exercise or trauma or even the micro traumas, right? We're talking just daily, just walking just by itself can steadily cause all those arches to collapse.
Wow.
So that's why it's imperative. We need to correct this, restore the nerves back down to his feet. And this is not going to be a one-time shot. He's going to need periodic corrections. I would recommend having him coming in either once every 2 to 4 weeks, because he's still taking martial arts, right? So he's still gonna I want him to still play around and use his feet. I'm not going to tell him, you know what? No, from now on you're in a wheelchair for the next couple months. No, we're not going to do that, right? He's a kid. He needs to play around, right? So no, I want to come in either every 2 to 4 weeks. We're going to check his progress, see how well those structures are holding up, make sure he doesn't have any pressure on those nerves. Make sure those feet are working as well. I also recommend that we also put him in some feet orthotics.
Yes.
All right. So I recommend having him go to a pediatric podiatrist, right? Fit him with some, just very simple orthotics. Right? Just to make sure those feet, he doesn't collapse any further while we do our work. It's sort of like having a brace, just to hold it in place while we are rebuilding everything else.
Gotcha.
Right? That's all.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. Feet time. Now we fix. Just kick onto that. Good. That's all it took. How do you like that, champ?
That's
Yeah. Walk around. Just stop right there. Fill us in. How's that right foot?
good.
Good? I just gotta love kids' reactions. How do you feel? How do you feel? Good.
Does it feel different from before?
In what way? What do you feel different?
Feels cold.
It feels more comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. How about let's go fix the rest of that, all right? Right this way. Don't worry, you're gonna feel a nice or gentle nudge. Just like that. Okay. Come on up. Okay, walk around. What do you think, Papa? What do you think about his foot?
It looks
Yeah, try again. Walk around.
it's,
He's not into it as much.
yeah. His right foot is not as straighter than before.
His left foot is definitely much more straighter. He's not pigeon-toed and not in-toed as much. Because his left foot was really in-toed. It was right slightly, but not as much. Okay. Let's show to the viewers once again.
Yeah, his right foot looks straighter. His left foot still has a little bit, right?
Yeah, just slight.
Yeah.
All right, champ. So here's what I want you to do, all right? Because we just set this bone over in your back, and there's some swelling over there. I want you to ice that, all right? But here's the thing, kids are pretty petite, and they can get frostbite actually from a cold pack alone. So make sure you wrap it with a cloth.
Okay.
All right, so to minimize that risk. Apply right there in his back, 20 minutes, do that 3 times a day, do that for the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
All right, and again, swing by 2 weeks from now, let's see how you're doing.
Okay.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Make sure he has proper nerve function to his feet over there, because we still see it over here. His feet are flat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to have it when you're very young, at 2 years old, because you're supposed to have flat feet. They don't develop
Right.
that nerve, those arches until they're later, but you're supposed to have them, didn't it? So that tells us that as long as you can remember, his feet are like that, correct? Pretty flat. Right, so that tells us that his sacrum, that problem, is not a recent problem. It's a pretty old one. Nap time already? So again, right, that's an old problem he's been having for not just recently, a very old time, because
Like 6 months, 1 year?
no, years.
Years, okay.
So how old, if he never developed proper arches in the first place, that tells us no, that sacrum problem, it's been there for a very long time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to do this already, because I'm trying to prevent any more issues. I mean, he's only complained up until maybe the last few months.
Yeah, it's like the final straw brought the camel's back. Eventually, because kids, another thing to keep in mind is this, especially with children, right? That any irritation in the nerve system, they have pretty redundant nerves, right? So they don't feel pain as much as adults do. And the other component is this, it's kind of interesting as well. Sometimes when I examine patients, the pediatric patients, and they feel discomforts, whatever it is, it's not just discomforts when we scope them. Sometimes they feel being ticklish, right? Because it spills over to a different nerve pathway in terms of the sensory and all that stuff. So that's why, sometimes you just don't even know it's there until it's just too much. Final straw broke the camel's back. Says, okay, now I finally have an owie.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes they don't know how to describe the pain or where it is.
Exactly. So
How to
that's why
determine.
it's always a good idea. Have always had kids come in to a pediatric chiropractor. Make sure they get them properly checked out. Nip it in the bud before it just gets so much worse.
Yeah.
Right? So again, like I said, I do recommend having them go to a pediatric podiatrist.
Right. That's the next step.
Right.
Yeah.
To make sure he gets fitted for those feet. Make sure
Yeah.
it just doesn't get any worse in there.
To give support on the arch.
Exactly.
Okay.
For all 3 arches.
Now you said all 3 arches. How many? Can you show me the arches?
There's a lateral arch. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can bring the camera a little closer in. Okay. And I'll show you once again. This is what we're looking at. See how this is bulging out? Right, over here. On his left is bulging a lot more compared to his left. I'm sorry, his right one is not as bulging compared to his left. This left one is really bulging outwards. You see that? So this lateral arch collapsed even more. It's not supposed to bulge out that much. It's supposed to be very, very slight.
So
Like
this part right here.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be a little bit more inwards, like this wards. This would be what a normal lateral arch should look like, but it's not. And can you just rotate your foot a little bit there? There you go. And just stand.
Okay, so this is the first arch.
Right, that's the lateral arch. Okay. And the medial arch, okay, there's supposed to be space like this. Okay, he doesn't have that. He's almost
Flat.
firmly flat.
Right.
So the medial arch is much more obvious to spot out.
So that's 2. That's the
Well, this is the main one. This
That's
is the
the main
first
arch.
one, right? And then the last arch is the transverse arch. It's this one. So exactly. So when the medial and the lateral arch collapses, then the transverse will go as well, and then that's when we start to see hammer toes. And if he wears his shoes long enough, then we start to see it here a little bit. You start to see some calluses over here. See, there's a little callus here, a little callus there.
And it's causing the feet,
Right.
the toes to curl.
Right. It'll start. Right. The toes have no choice but to curl.
I see.
So once we start to have, and you may have heard of those metatarsal pads, the orthotics. Can you do me a favor? Let's switch over. Let's have you sit over here. And let me show you your foot. Okay? I'll just bend this over here. That's why you'll see some orthotic supports. Right? That's what they call a metatarsal support. What they'll do is they'll put a pad right here. So what they'll do is, just like I showed you before, right? It'll start to give support to that transverse arch, and it won't cause those hammer toes to be prominent as much.
Okay.
That's going to be the story in that one.
Okay.
All right. We're all set, everybody.
All right.
Anything else?
That's it. I
All
think
right.
we're off to a good start here.
All right. Okay, champ. We're all good.
Yay.
Yay, it is.